So this is the body front of the bear, and the next thing that you are going to do is to make your a pair of legs attach the sole, attach the legs to the body front. And the legs are going to be attached, okay? The markings actually would be more helpful if the dots were on the opposite side here, where the good side of the fabric is. But it's approximately about 3/4 of an inch away from this middle seam. You're going to start pinning your legs, and it's going to go up this way, and the other leg's going to go up this way, and then they're going to be folded up. And then you're going to sew the back piece for the body of the bear back, and then the legs that you sew first are going to be kind of sandwiched in between the back and the front part of the bear. So right now I'm going to show you the pieces for the legs. You have two that were traced on the wrong side of the pattern, and you had two that were traced on the right side of the pattern. And you have two soles for the bottom of the feet. You only need two. Each pair of wrong and right side are going to come together like this. You're going to lay it so that the good sides are touching one another, and the wrong side of the fabric, the white blank side for my particular choice of fabric, is facing out, and you are going to start sewing the legs this way. So the front of this foot that looks like a boot, from here to the top, from here to the top all the way down to the bottom, you are going to sew from the top of the boot here on the back of the leg to the triangle, and then in between the two triangles you are not going to sew. So I'm going to write no sew. This is the no sew zone right here. Okay, that part of the legs are going to be kept open between the triangles. That's what the triangles are there to signify. Between them you are not going to sew, because that's going to be the opening that you stuff the legs with. Then you're going to sew again. So you're going to sew from the top to the triangle. Then you're going to sew from the second triangle to the bottom of the legs. Go through the little circle. You are not sewing the top of the leg. You are not sewing the bottom of the leg. You're going to sew both edges to the sole. Okay, and I'll demonstrate that later. So I'm going to sew the front of this little boot here. It's 1/4 of an inch seam line. And then also here. I'm going to save those little soles. And I'm going to turn this way, okay? And I'm going to also mark where I'm going to stitch along the front of this boot. It's especially important that when you are sewing a curved place, like right here on this foot, that your curves, especially if you're using kind of stitches that are a little bit bigger, which you shouldn't be using, but if you are, they are not going to look good using some big stitches along these little curves, especially tight curves. When you get to a curve, use really small stitches. Okay, that'll make it look better. This right here between the triangles is a no sew zone. No sew. And because you are going to stuff the foot of the bear through this back leg opening. Just for your information, the legs and the arms are stuffed individually, and then the head and the body of the bear is stuffed at the same time. You stuff the head of the bear through the body, so you just need an opening in the back of the bear's body. So let's pin this little foot here, and we're going to sew from here to here, stop, start sewing from here to here, and then sew the front of this little foot that looks like a little snow boot. Okay, and now I stitched all of the front of this little foot. Now I'm going to stitch the first part of the back of the foot and then skip this little middle area and then stitch the rest of the foot to the bottom. Okay, I'm done sewing the one leg, and so I'm going to take one of the soles of the feet, and if you look here, there's a very large circle drawn on the top area where the toe is, and so you match it up with this large circle over here, and then down here there's a small circle, and there is a small circle here. Then from left to right there is two triangles that are drawn on here. You can look on here. So there's two triangles here, and then a small circle here on the bottom and a large circle here at the top. And so there are coordinating marks on the bottom of the feet. There is a large circle that I traced right here on the tip of the toes. There's a small circle sign right here in the back of the heel, and then there's in the middle of the sides, there's the triangles. Open up that seam, lay it flat, line up the large circle here on the sole of the foot, good sides together like this so that the good sides are touching, furry side of my fabric touching this furry side here. And I'm going to line up that big circle with the seam here and pinch them together and pin. This is a very three-dimensional foot because there's this added sole to it. So it's going to be kind of like when we were pinning the center of the bear's head to the side of its head pieces. You're making kind of like a very three-dimensional part there too. And so that was a little bit harder to kind of understand how to construct. So, okay, it's not like you're slapping, two pieces of fabric together and sewing it. Here you're actually sewing three pieces together. So you pin north and south and then east and west. So you're going to pin the two triangles. Just lay them one on top of the other so that they're aligned. Then put pins through the triangles. Then let's try to line up the triangles on this side here. All the while, good sides of the fabric are touching. They're good sides kissing, bad sides, the wrong sides on the outside. So we're handling the wrong side of the fabric when we are sewing most things, even clothes. And then when we're done sewing, we flip them right side out so we can see the good side, and there should be no stitches showing. No sign of actually stitches or sewing marks. Okay, now I'm putting a few pins in between. Make sure you just focus on lining up the cut edges of the fabric and everything should line up. Edge to edge. Hold the piece edge to edge. Okay, so here now I have pinned the sole onto the leg. It looks like a little boot, and I'm sure that shoes are constructed very similarly. Like real boots are kind of put together a little bit similar to this, since they're this three-dimensional form. And I'm going to take my little marker and I'm going to draw the little dotted line, just like the little dotted lines that you see on the pattern. Okay, I'm gonna draw those dotted lines on actually the fabric too, so I could follow that line when I'm sewing. That's 1/4 inch seam allowance, so I don't have to really think about it when I'm sewing how far in I should sew. Okay, so we're going to go and kind of sew in a circular fashion. And there's a lot of pins. Try not to get poked, but you need those pins to hold everything together and keep everything from moving. Okay. You can remove the pins when you're done sewing a certain spot.